Choice of the chosen, yeah. Choice of the chosen, yeah.
Yo, what's up? First time UFC special. I'm excited, this is a new venture for me. I don't really know much about UFC, and what two better men to have than Jamie Mananui and Hemi. So, Jamie, the big rig, what's happening, brother?
Oh, not much, brother. How you going?
Yeah, not too bad, I'm ready to get into this and learn some new stuff. Hemi, the Cassie destroyer, all the way from the Hungy Pits. What's happening, brother?
Kia ora, my brother. Just chilling here. Looking forward to this podcast we got going on.
Yeah, bro. Let's get into it. 193.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, bro. This is, for me, it was my first event. I paid my $50. I watched every fight. The big ones coming out from the start was obviously I wanted to watch Hunt, being a Kiwi, and I'd seen the last fight with the dude he had, and pretty hectic. And obviously, I knew of Ronda, but I thought I'd jump on the bandwagon. I like how she comes to the ring, but the Hunt fight, obviously for me, from a person that really doesn't know UFC, and after watching his first fight with the dude, it didn't. It was mean that a Kiwi won, but I was, hoping that it might have gone for a bit longer. But it was mean to see Hunt get the knockout, and then Ronda, the $50 paid right there when Holman knocked her out. It was awesome, even though I was supporting Ronda, But my heart dropped straight away, I was like, oh, I just jumped on this bandwagon, got smashed, but I'm gonna stick with Ronda. I like her swagger,
A lot of people's hearts would have dropped at that moment, bro, when Holly Holm gave her a nice wee crack to the mouth and then pushed her off and gave her a wee head kick.
Yeah.
There would have been a lot of hearts dropping, and I'm one of them too, bro, because I didn't think that. I thought it would have been a lot closer than that anyway. I think it was going to go down like that.
No one thought she could get done like that. No way. She's a fucking expert she's an expert on her feet against everybody else who she's fought against. I'm not saying she's an expert striker or a kicker, but she's so well-rounded on her feet against every other opponent she's come up against, and it just was an absolute shock to see her get dealt to the way she is. But I think we're skipping ahead here because there were 4 fights before that, and the Struve versus Rochelle didn't really do anything for me. It was a bit slow and sluggish. But
was it?
Yeah, well, it didn't feel like
that what that was?
Mate,
I'm pretty sure Dana White would have been quite pissed off at that, eh?
For sure, you wouldn't pay the cunts. I mean, it was fucking terrible. You would not pay them. So getting back to the start of the card, it was an absolute slow start from them two. I mean, they are big boys and whatnot, but you do expect to see a bit of knockout power, but I don't think there was one strike in there other than the up kick from Struve that looked like it could have ended the fight, and it didn't. So
that was the blonde dude?
The tall guy, yeah.
Oh, the tall guy, yeah. Yeah, that's obviously starting there, not really watching much UFC before, that's when I was just like, I hope the whole event's not like this, but, as it went on, it got better, but, yeah, you are right with that, eh?
It's crazy to me because Struve is a kickboxer from Amsterdam, and they're known for good striking. And that match, bro, he was horrific. Like I said, it was only the front kick. And I didn't even see that because I ended up just tuning. I didn't even watch it, bro. I just started getting prepped. For the other fights.
Yeah, fair enough. It was
Dutch kickboxers, and I mean, look at Alistair Overeem. He's a Dutch kickboxer, and he's not the best, but he'll throw down. He'll hit you hard.
That's right, yeah, and that's what you expect to see from the heavyweights. Is you expect to see these punches that just fucking rain down on you, and you hope that everything that connects is going to have enough power to knock someone out. But it just didn't. I mean, they spent the majority of the fight on the ground, lying on top of each other, not threatening for anything, no devastating strikes from whoever was on top. It was pretty
that other guy was He was a wrestler, was he? Was he a wrestler?
Yeah, Rochelle. He's a
And
wrestler.
yeah. And was he trying to obviously neutralise Stru's stand-up, but wasn't really, making much of a
No,
taking much of it off
he wrestled,
around.
but that was it. He wrestled and he won the fight, which I suppose is good for him. But I mean,
Shit for the fans type thing, isn't it?
it's shit for the fans. I mean, I don't. They're both looking to get into the top 10, but realistically, I don't think Dana's going to, give you, once you get into the top 10, sometimes, they'll go, okay, no, he won that convincingly. We're going to give him the number 2 seed, or we're going to give him, they'll give you a good fight. But with performances like that, you're going to end up fighting 9th. You might be 10th and you might fight 9th, or you might fight 8th, and you'll slowly climb your way up. And, it's not like, they could help it. Obviously, they were sort of stalemating each other throughout the fight, but
Yeah, but even then, but they might not even get a top 10. They might end up going the other way around and just giving them one of the top from 10 to 15 or something.
Yeah, that's right, and giving someone else a chance to make 10. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so with that, how do you actually get a shot at the title, the belt for that each category? Where do you kind of got to be in the rankings?
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, you got to. The thing is, Dana White is a fight promoter. First and foremost, he's a fight promoter, so he knows what fights to pick, what's going to bring in the money and whatnot. So, for example, Conor McGregor, the Irish the Mr. Notorious, he didn't fight anybody in the top 10 before getting a title shot. He fought the best ranked person he fought in the UFC was ranked 14th, and then he got a title shot after beating him. So it's one of those things where, like I say, if you're convincing in your win, you're going to get the opportunities. But if you're not convincing, it's almost like there's no point, because you're not going to bring the fans, and if you don't bring the fans, you don't bring the money.
Yeah, so is it also if you got a bit of swagger about you, you look at...
Yeah, for sure. That's why
I think it is based on how you win.
Yeah.
If you, because Conor McGregor's he's fought more than, I think there's 2 or 3 guys before he got to Dennis Seaver, who's ranked top 10. I think he's top 10. And Dennis Seaver is a good fighter. And then he had Jose Aldo, but Chad Mendes had to step up because Jose got injured. But it all if you say you were 15th and they give you a top 10 guy and you beat him decisively, they might give you someone between 10 and 5. And if you beat that guy decisively again, then you'll get a top 5. If you keep beating people decisively, that's another way, without talking shit, that's another way of getting them. But because you're adding that talk, that shit talk, a lot of eyes will, they focus on you. If someone's talking, everyone's watching.
That's it. I mean, you got to look at when you talk about the showmanship that comes with it, and it is getting a bit WWE-ish to an extent with some of the way these guys are putting on a performance before the fight happens. But, it's been going on for a while, and you look at the likes of Chael Sonnen, who could lose a fight and then call out somebody else who he wants to fight next. Like, he'd call out his own fights, and because people were like, he was so animated, he's like, I might have lost this one, but I'm going to fucking kill the next dude, and I want to fight this man. The fans start wanting what that person wants because they're so animated, and that, can get you fights as well. But I definitely if you can finish fights, like, for example, Mark Hunt, who also fought last weekend, he's a finisher. He goes out there and he slugs it out, and he'll throw these heavy shots, and quite often he's going to get a finish. And for him, he's known for knocking people out and walking off. He doesn't celebrate. He might hold his hand up and that sort of thing, but he doesn't generally, knock someone out and get in their face and go, yeah, fuck you. Or he doesn't cuss them out or anything, which is known to happen by some other fighters. So, yeah, Hemi's definitely right. If you can just finish, it doesn't matter whether you're animated or not. It's just, you're obviously proving you're a good fighter. So you can obviously get title shots in top 10 fights that way as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with like the Hunt fight, like how I said, like it didn't live up to the last time, obviously. Is that also maybe because the two fighters have worked each other out a bit more, like the camps know a bit more about each other, or it was just kind of like how it went out, was it? Or
Oh, you go, Henry. You talk this.
I don't think it was necessarily that, because you can go back and watch film on guys and how they fight and what they do. I think
yeah,
what happened this time around was Mark Hunt actually decided to train hard out, and he was a lot more focused in this fight. When he was
yeah,
fighting in Pride, bro, I remember one interview talking about how he was still smoking and eating KFC and all the rest of it. I'm like, no shit, that's what he was doing. But he was still fighting at that level. So
yeah,
he's still pretty. Probably, I think he would have been in his 30s or something at that stage, because he's 40 now. And I think it was just, he knuckled down this time. He was over in Thailand training, and he was training hard out. There's a few videos on YouTube if you're interested, and you see the amount of, he put in a lot of work for this one, bro, and that's why he came away with the W, and that's why he wants to, right now, this is his last run at the heavyweight title, and I
For the
think,
belt, yeah.
yeah. Because I follow him on Instagram, yeah, and I have seen he's been in Thailand heaps. But yeah, even I like obviously I know who he is, but yeah, I could tell he'd lost a bit of weight and looks like he's been going hard. But that's mean. So he's never won the belt before, but he's gonna try and go for it now, or
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
he's never won it, yeah. He hasn't won it
Alright.
yet, but he's had the fight for it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So there's a thing like with the Hunt fight. Before their last fight, it was ruled a draw, and then got ruled a no contest after, because Antonio Silva, Bigfoot, got found to be doing his testosterone levels were too high, which showed that he'd been doing testosterone replacement therapy longer than he should have, and so he,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
he's actually got a tumor on his pituitary gland, which causes gigantism, which means that his body can't produce testosterone fast enough for him to actually maintain a normal level. So they do testosterone replacement therapy so he can have a normal amount of testosterone in his body. So it's one of those things. When they find with people that train in general in fighting, when you do train, your testosterone levels drop a lot lower than a normal person walking around, because you're using so much testosterone in your training. And that's what, like, a lot of fighters register with really low testosterone levels before a fight, and he would be a lot lower than that again because of the tumor that he has.
yeah.
But yeah, Mark Hunt also, he said that, he said this is the first time he hasn't had to cut weight. So he weighed in on weight, which is, for him, that's
Yeah.
a first for him. So yeah, he definitely worked his ass off, and I think he's going to make a real run at this title, and hopefully he gets the result, because he's been a veteran of kickboxing. He's becoming a big name. Well, he already is a big name in the UFC, but he definitely deserves the title shot if he can get there.
Yeah.
It'd sort of be sort of a Cinderella finish, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for
Cinderella
sure.
story finish, yeah. So it would be. It'd be amazing for a New Zealander to win the heavyweight belt and the MMA. It would be pretty fucking dope, bro. To be honest,
Yeah.
it would be pretty dope.
Because let's be honest, there's not many people coming out of New Zealand as fighters that aren't fighting in the heavyweight division.
I mean, we've got a few big boys, but the skill level in the heavyweight division now is, well, not now, but has been freaking high, high.
For sure.
So as it was being in Melbourne, it was the biggest event, was it? If I'm correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
They broke all the records for numbers. Like, so for the UFC, it was the biggest card they've ever had. It's the biggest pay-per-view, and I think it's the biggest audience that Etihad Stadium has ever had as well.
Yeah, and but I noticed at the start of the card, and that Joe Rogan was saying a lot how the crowd was quite patient and quiet, Like,
Yeah, they're not used to it, man. Like they go, in America, obviously Americans are quite loud and boisterous, and he was saying, at the start, he's like, "Oh, this is the most polite crowd we've ever had at a UFC," which is true. You know, you don't ever see silence in any other event, and there were like, you could hear the corners talking to the fighters in the ring, and it was like, or in the octagon, it was quite strange.
yeah. So that
if you watch, it also happens in Japan. Japan are real, like they actually know what's going on, and it's crazy. You'll see the fighters in the cage, and same thing. You can hear the corners screaming out, what for instructions to do and stuff. And say, for instance, if someone passes guard or something like that, in Japan the crowd will clap and then
because
silence again. Yeah, because they understand the fight game. It's quite amazing to see that.
yeah.
Sort of shit.
So is that kind of like respect? Like they respect them in that way, kind of like in rugby, how like say if your home kick is kicking, they won't make any noise or anything.
Yeah, it's exactly like that, bro. And it is an amazing thing to see. Like YouTube that as well, because it's compared to America is just alcohol fueled crazy nutters.
So it's just like two different cultures.
Not all of them, but
two different cultures taking it different ways, and they respect
respect
it. Both good.
Like, in Brazil, they've got like some of the loud, like the most supportive.
Sort of similar to like soccer fans, eh, bro?
Yeah, that's it.
You compare them to soccer fans, really, eh?
Like, it's not like a hooligan culture, but they're definitely like really. There are comparisons there. Like they get behind their own so much, and that's why they love taking the UFC out to Brazil, because the crowds there are phenomenal, and especially when their home fighters are fighting, they get behind it. And like Hemi was saying, when you go into these cultures that have such a large martial arts background, like all through Asia, Japan and places like where you've got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil, where they understand the ground game, that's when you get that sort of respect. Because in America, people are fight fans, they're not necessarily martial arts fans. So when the fight gets taken to the ground, a lot of people get bored, whereas over in those countries, they love it. They love when you got people on the ground. You're playing chess when you're down there, Like people think that, it's slow, it's boring, no one's punching anyone. But, some of the damage that happens on the ground is a lot worse than what's happened when you're standing up.
Once you get an understanding for it, bro, like, so I say to anyone, that always talks to me about, but why do you like the ground game? It's like, well, once you understand it, it's a whole new part. It's a whole new part of the fight that you've never seen before. You see the stand up, but everyone sort of understands it, has a basic understanding of it. But once you understand the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling, like just little things that they do, they might put their knee over this way, and it's like you'll see them to get a submission a couple of moves down the track, and getting that knee across was part of that submission to get that submission. Yeah, so it's cool, bro. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So getting back to the big one, it was a massive shock seeing Rousey get knocked out. But do you think?
Whoa.
What?
We're not just going to skip past Whittaker's decision winning against
sorry.
are we?
Sorry.
We're not going to do that. No, you're all right,
I'm jumping the gun.
Kiwi brother. There's the Kiwi brother there, bro.
Oh, I thought he was repping out of Australia.
Oh, stop it.
That's why he gets no love. That's why he gets no love.
That's it, because he's got those 5 stars.
I seen that and I wasn't sure if he was confused, but nah. He did well. Who was he fighting against, sorry?
The guy's name is Uriah Hall, and I don't know if you've seen it, but on the Ultimate Fighter, he did a spinning back kick on this dude, and it honestly looked like he'd killed him.
It was death. Yeah. It was death by Uriah Hall, for sure.
I actually remember this fight now. Yeah.
We had a Kiwi boy, Robert Whittaker. I said to Jamie before the fight, I was like, how do you reckon he should take it? Do you reckon
Yeah.
he should be mongrel as with it, or be like, real just
Reserved and
precision
calculated.
striking or something? Yeah, and calculated. And
Yeah.
Munner's called it.
I think I didn't see him. I honestly thought he would have been a bit more calculated because Uriah Hall's so unpredictable with his kicking game. But Whittaker came out the gate like a fucking bulldog and just rushed him. He controlled the fight the whole time, and Uriah tried pulling off a few things. There was that time where he tried for the spinning back kick, then was out of range, so he moved that straight into the tornado kick, and then tried with another roundhouse on the back end of that, and it was like, wow, fuck. If any one of those had connected, it could have been fight ending. But Whittaker just, he stayed calm, he pulled out of them, and it was an electric fight to watch between those two because both of them have such good, skills on their feet.
Yeah, he was trying to do those round kicks a lot more at the end, when he knew that he kind of had to knock Whittaker out.
He had to finish, otherwise he was going to get the L. So yeah.
And that's what sort of kept you on the edge of your seat, is you knew that Uriah Hall could pull anything out of the bag and could have knocked Robert Whittaker out at any time. And with the same though, with Robert Whittaker, some of the hits, some of his punches, if they had connected, Uriah Hall would have been going to fucking sleep, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. The way he was stepping off and throwing those overhands, he'd step off to the left and throw an overhand left on the back of it. It was so unpredictable. You can't train for someone that unorthodox unless you're training against them.
Well, that's exactly it, bro. You reckon, both the unpredictability neutralise each other out, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Whittaker.
It was a good win for the Anzac, since he likes to represent both sides of the ditch.
He's not letting it go. He's not letting it go.
I'll
tell you what, those foot stomps he was getting Uriah with, they were brutal. And they didn't stop. I felt so sorry for Uriah.
Yeah. I was like, stop it. I was like, broken foot. Oh, that's a broken bone in that foot. Yeah.
I was sitting here with my brother and my wife, and we're sitting here watching this happen. And on one side of the scale, I've got my brother's face cringing. Oh, that looks so painful. And my wife's going, this is just barbaric. And I'm sitting here so excited. Like, I'm over the moon. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome that he's just doing that to someone's feet and he's allowed to.
Yeah, I was actually cringing a bit at that. But it was actually quite good at the same time.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Bro, that's all. Well, that's like heel. He was not. That's not his toes. That's like his heel into the other guy's the middle of his foot. It was
Yeah, but you know what? All it's going to do, he's sitting there, he's holding him against the cage and stomping his foot because the only thing Uriah could have done to get out of that situation is to turn or give up position. Like, he was pretty well defended there. He couldn't get punched in the head because it's pretty hard to connect with him facing the cage. And the only thing he could have done is turn around and open up. And then, Whittaker's got you front on. And it's chess, That's all this is. It's a game of chess between two people, and you're trying to break each other. And Hall, unfortunately, didn't win the fight. And it was his third fight in less than 100 200 days, which is rather impressive.
It is. That is really impressive to fight that many times.
With you saying, the chess thing, going back to the main the main event, like, do you like with the chess played by Holman, like, amazing? She just keep peppering her with their boxing skills. Do you not think like Rousey should have counter-reacted earlier, like, because it went into the second round? Do you not think she should have tried something different, or kept going the way, obviously, how it went, or what do you believe?
I don't know, man. What do you reckon? I think she should have changed it up.
Yeah. For me, I think I'm going to start off by saying I'm not a fight analyst, I'm not a fight coach, but anybody who's got half a brain about fighting, knows anything about fighting, knows that it's like I said, it's a game of chess, and you've got to move the right piece at the right time to win the game, or to get into a position to win. And when you're talking about getting into position, when you're standing there with a 19 times world boxing champion, and she's making you eat her left hand because she's a southpaw, and when she's throwing that left hand out, and you're not doing anything to defend it, don't have any bottom weight, you're not moving your head out of the line of her fist, you've got to sort of think to yourself, what am I doing here that isn't working, and what can I do to make this work in my favor? And definitely, everybody's saying it. Ronda should have taken her to the ground, which at one stage she did. She did get a hit toss, and she had her on the ground. She almost had the armbar. Holly's ground game was good enough to get out of it once, but as we've seen in the past, Ronda's got the capability to sit there and just keep going for that armbar, and eventually she's going to get it. I mean, she did when she fought Misha Tate. She kept working for that armbar in their last fight, and everybody who she tries to get it on, she eventually gets it. So she definitely should have changed her game plan. I think it's, you can't use a screw gun to hit a nail, and as I wrote in an article, you can't do that. You have to use the hammer. So hopefully come the rematch, she figures out a game plan and she implements it, because that's what Holly Holm did last Sunday. She implemented her game plan, and Rousey couldn't answer it.
So with that, are we going to see a rematch? And then for someone like me that I want him keen as to see it, how much of a gap do you see, or other fighters do you fight before you would see a rematch?
Well, I definitely think rematch is the next fight.
No, Ronda's out for 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if she'll get the rematch.
I think she'll definitely get the rematch. I think what's going to happen, they're going to line these two up for a rematch for UFC 200.
Well,
no one's threatening that title. No one else is threatening that title from Holm. I mean, realistically, Misha Tate's the only person doing
Holly, you got to look at it. Holly Holm's the champ now, and she's going to want to stay she will want to stay active, isn't she?
Yeah, for sure. But
so
also,
she's going to she'll probably before Ronda gets back.
Well, I mean, would you though? Because you're in this fight frame now to fight Ronda. You know what I mean? And I mean, for her, it probably doesn't matter too much. She's going to stick to her stand-up. She's going to do that with everybody that she does fight. But like Ronda, I think what happened was Ronda fought these inferior fighters to herself. I'm not saying they're inferior fighters, but compared to herself, they were inferior. They didn't come close to touching her. She was beating everybody out the gate. And then
that's quite evident. Yeah,
she fought someone who had an answer to it, and I think if you were Holly, you wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, I know you would want to fight because you want to prove that it wasn't a one-off, and people keep saying this is the greatest upset in fight history, and some people are comparing it to Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson. There's a difference between Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson, and the difference is Holly was no joke. She came into this a 19 times world kickboxing champion. Boxing champion with a kickboxing background, and Buster Douglas, although that was a fucking upset to see Mike Tyson get beaten the way he did, he smoked, he drank, he hardly trained, and he beat Mike Tyson. Holly Holm was serious about this from day dot. Her training schedule with Greg Jackson and Winklejohn was intensive, and she was there to win this, and she thought she could do it, and she did it.
So do you think, obviously, more people should have jumped on her in the TV, because she was paying ridiculous odds, like a huge outsider. Like, she got the knockout in round 2, and the decision ended in round 2 by Holman was paying $34.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because a lot of MMA analysts that had a brain on them knew that this was Ronda's hardest test.
Yeah.
Rogan said this multiple times that Holmes' stand-up is, everyone's got to watch out for that and what's going to happen with that and how Ronda's going to handle it. Obviously, she didn't handle it as well as she wanted to, but a lot of, if you're not up with it, then with the fight game, then you're gonna just go Ronda because she's killed everyone out in that division.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's it. And I think also you couldn't go against Ronda because she has this legacy going for her, and which is now ended, sadly for her. But it's like, for example, when you had
it hasn't ended yet. It hasn't ended.
I'm saying
the undefeated streak.
Undefeated streak. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about. Look, I think she's going to be back better than ever, and I don't know whether that means she's going to get the win or not. Look, I hope she does because I think she's worked so hard to get there, and I don't know what it's going to do to her if she can't get that belt back. She's a champion. She's good at being number one, and yeah, she deserves to be back in that arena for the title shot.
No one likes to lose, but sometimes in a secret side, sorry, got that wrong. And disguise, it's the best thing for you. Like, how many times? Like, look at the All Blacks. I hate to yarp on them about all the time, but they won the Rugby World Cup this year and they lost to Aussie. Losses like that create people better chances for people down the road. And I think, without knowing much about UFC, I think she will come back bigger, stronger, better, and she will get that belt back. Well, I hope, because I'm staying on the train.
Yeah, good on you, mate.
She'll get the belt back at some stage, no doubt.
Yeah,
and she will, she'll stay. She'll be obviously fucked at the moment because she lost, but give her a couple of weeks, bro. She'll be back in the gym. She'll be training again. She'll get the fire started again, and she'll be back at it.
Yeah. What do you think about Edmund and his after round one, his talk he gave Ronda about how she's doing well, and do you think that she should maybe look at widening her training camps and whatnot?
I thought he said to her, was disgusting because she was getting honed out, and he said, "You're doing all right." And that there, is at the beginning of the end for that, for him, because fuck, bro, the dumbest cunt on the planet would have told her, "Look, she's punching you in the face. You need to move your head."
Yeah, that's right.
You're not
especially a boxing coach. He is predominantly a boxing coach. You know what I mean? He doesn't coach her through any ground game or anything. He's a boxing coach, and he didn't tell her to move her head.
So do you think it was the camp? Do you think it was the camp as well that was?
No, I don't think it's the camp. I think she's a fighter and she should be able to work it out on her own, that if she's eating punches, she should probably move her head. But you rely on your coaches to give you an outside perspective on things. And when she goes back to
they see a lot of things that you don't, bro. So hard out, a lot of things you don't see.
Yeah. But
I don't. He got her to that point. You know what I mean? He's obviously not a bad coach.
No, that's right.
Well, what she had going, with him teaching her boxing and all the rest of it, it must have been okay. It's just...
Yeah, you've got to think. The one thing... Sorry, you go.
Holly Holm was better prepared, and she was a lot calmer. Ronda came in. I think she just fought emotionally, didn't she? Because she's usually quite calm when she's fighting, but... Well, not calm, but yeah. This time she just looked like she just kept pressing.
It's usually
trying to initiate. Hey?
It's usually controlled aggression, but for some reason it was just aggression. There was no control to it. She kept marching forward, walking into those left hands, and yeah, it was devastating to watch.
It was hard to watch. That I started to like a bit more. I'm always open to new sports, but obviously, the more I get to know the more fighters, I'll watch more. But thanks for coming on, brothers. Hopefully we will have another UFC special, and I'll be able to, understand it a bit more. But cheers to that, boys.
Happy to be here.
Thank you, bro. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Too much, brothers. Cheers.
See you, bro.
Cheers.
Cheers.